$1,000,000 question. How long did it take for me to lose the 50 pounds? You might not like the answer, but I am going to tell you the truth anyways. Hello everybody, I'm AyJay and I am back with another video. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here for a while, then welcome back. So today, by popular demand, highly requested, I'm doing a part 2 to my weight loss video on how I lost 50 pounds. If you haven't seen it, then it's in the description down there, but if you're here, I'm guessing you've seen it. So anyways, so there was just, people have asked me a few questions that I either didn't answer in the first video or I didn't thoroughly explain in the first video. So here we are with a part 2. So let's go ahead and get started. I wrote it down on this little sticky note so that way I don't forget. So if you see me referencing this, it's of all the questions. So a question that I saw in the comments pop up very frequently was my height. So to answer the question, how tall am I? I'm 5'7". So, oh my gosh, I just dropped it. Okay, I'm back. So I am 5'7" on a good day. I have long legs and a short torso. And so when I was, before I started to lose the weight, like all of it, most of it was in my stomach. So that's just the way my body is. It likes to go to my stomach. So my stomach was the first to appear and it was also the last to go. So, you know, like I said, I was 5'7" and at 175. And it's just all in here, right? So, but 175 on somebody that's 5'11", you know, may look completely different. So, you know, it just depends. But I didn't realize that, you know, the height can kind of determine how it's gonna look. So that's my height. The next question is, did I use any weight loss supplements? I did not feel a need for them. I just did everything I said in the first video. I just did all those things and I was able to get the results that I wanted. I don't think that they can hurt. Like, it can't hurt to use them if you want to, but I mean, they're extremely expensive, and it's just like, I feel like you can get the results you need without them. That's just my opinion. So, but you can try them if you want. Like I said, it can't hurt, but I don't find them necessary. I didn't use them. Someone also asked, do I still eat fruit, or did I cut out the fruits? I ate fruit during my journey. I eat fruit today. I think fruit is delicious. So you don't have to cut out fruit. Now, like, obviously just eat it during your 8-hour time frame, and then understand some fruits do have more sugar and carbohydrates than others. So if you do like to eat fruit, try to eat it earlier in the day, like closer to your first meal or your first snack, as opposed to at night. So that way the sugar doesn't, you know, try to like stick to you or whatever. But you can still eat it. That's totally fine. Fruit's good for you and it's delicious. So it's a win-win. So you don't have to give up fruit. I didn't. The next question, oh, this is the $1 million question. Okay, so I kind of touched on it in the first video, but for many reasons, I did just kind of like brush over it a little bit. $1 million question, how long did it take for me to lose the 50 pounds? You might not like the answer, but I am going to tell you the truth anyways. So it took me about a year and some change. Now, I know that might sound like a long time, and I don't want that to discourage anybody, because number one, if the weight comes off slowly and steadily, I think that's the word. If the weight comes off slow and steady, if it comes off slow and steady, you're more likely to be able to keep it off, because the last thing you want to happen is you lose all this weight and then you end up gaining it back. So, you know, for example, I don't know if any of you used to watch the show on TV, The Biggest Loser. And, you know, on that show, they would lose like, you know, people would lose like 100 pounds in like 2 months, and then as soon as the show is over, you know, they do the follow-up and then they gain the weight all back. So, you know, you want the weight to come off slowly and naturally in a way, so that way it can stay off. Because, you know, you can lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, but then, you know, as soon as you go right back to what you were doing before, it's gonna come right back. So that's why I said, you know, I wanted to create a plan that produces long-term results. This is not just a, you know what I mean? So that was the first reason why I didn't really talk about it too much. And then the second reason is there are so many factors that play a role into how fast the weight comes off. Gender plays a role for some reason. Men lose weight so much faster than women, and I'm so envious of that, but that's another video. My friend, he can like get abs in like a week or 2, and I've never had abs. So gender plays a role, age plays a role. The younger you are, the faster your metabolism is. As you slowly get, you know, closer to, from what I've been told, they say in your 30s it slows down. I don't know, I'm not there yet, but I do know that in high school, when I would do pageants or prom season, around that time, if I wanted to wear a very snug dress, you know, I could, if I wanted to like trim down a little bit, I could lose 5 to 10 pounds in like 2 weeks, easily. I cannot do that today in my 20s, but that's okay. So age plays a role, gender plays a role, and then also, like I said in the first video, you know, I didn't put a lot of time into the gym. I would go 2 to 3 days a week, and they were very light, minimal, maybe 2 drips of sweat, you know, because I don't like to sweat. So, you know, maybe produce 2 drips of sweat, and then I'd go home. So, you know, if you're doing everything I said in the first video, and if you're hitting the gym, you know, 5-6 days a week for an hour, then, you know, it may not take you a year. There's just a lot that plays into that. Medication, your overall health, there's certain medical conditions, if you've given birth, like there's so many things that play a role into how long it takes. So that's something, you know, if you ask 10 different people, you're gonna get 10 different answers. Try not to get too wrapped up in it. Just, you know, just focus on those 5 to 10 pounds at a time, and you will eventually get there. But as for me, like I said, it took me a year and some change. So every 3 months, I would lose about 10 pounds. Lightly active, overall healthy. I'm in my 20s, no kids, never given birth, nothing like that. So, you know, those all, I don't take any medication or anything. So those all, I'm sure, had something to do with it. I don't know. So, but just keep going until you reach your goal. Regardless of how long it takes. If it takes you 6 months, if it takes you a year, if it takes you 18 months, you know, that's okay. Just keep going. Don't give up, okay? So don't worry about it. don't put a time frame on it, okay? So the next question is about, like, a lot of people were saying, because I talked about, you know, you can't drink pop or soda for the Southerners. You can't drink pop, soda, whatever you want to call it, and no juice. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? How is that possible? It is possible, and I'm gonna give you a tip, because everybody's like, how is that possible? Number one, it does, I promise, it does get easier, and the best way to go about that is just don't buy it. Like, you know what I mean? If something isn't in your house and you don't have easy access to it, you're less likely to want it. So just when you go grocery shopping, just don't buy any pop, don't buy any juice. And you know, they say out of sight, out of mind. So I think that's the best way to go about it. Another thing too that will help with your water, put lemon or mint leaves or cucumber in it. And that kind of gives the water a little bit of flavor, and you won't, after a while, you will not even miss drinking pop or juice, because you're still gonna have that little bit of flavor. So anybody who knows me, if you go out to eat with me, if you know me, like, I always have lemon water. That is my favorite thing in the entire world. So just add a little flavor to the water and you'll be good to go. So that's my tip on that. And then the last question is, why did I start? Like, what prompted me to get motivated to even lose the weight? And as the old saying goes, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I remember, like, I would be walking up a flight of stairs and I'd be out of breath. And not only would I be out of breath, but I would have this sharp pain in my knees. It was very, very painful, very uncomfortable. And I'm just like, what is this? So that was one of the things. Dressing room meltdowns, you know, I would try stuff on and nothing would fit me right, and just like, that wasn't fun. I hated that. I had a lot of people ask me if I was expecting, and I wasn't. I don't have any kids, but people asked me on multiple occasions if I was expecting, and I'm just like, no, like, no, I'm not. So that was really hurtful, because my kid has fur and 4 legs. Like, that's it. And then the final thing, the final straw that broke the camel's back, I can laugh about it today because whatever, you know, I can laugh at stuff. This was around the time when I thought that you could out-exercise a bad diet. That is not true, but this is before I knew that. So I'm thinking I can out-exercise a bad diet. So I'm still eating bad, I'm still eating at all hours of the day, and I was going to the gym thinking that I could out-exercise the bad diet. Plus I was just bored. Like, I was just going to the gym out of boredom, right? Like, you know, thinking that if I go enough, maybe one day I'll enjoy the gym. I still don't like the gym. I don't like it, and it's okay. So I was going out of boredom, and I went on a date with this guy, and the first date, fine. So the first date went well. We agreed to go on a second date, and during the second date, well, the first half of it was fine. Then out of nowhere, he just looks at me and he's like, because whenever we would be texting, he would be like, what are you doing? And I would say that I'm at the gym. And so during our second date, he just looks at me and he says, so when you go to the gym, what exactly are you working on? Like, I was shocked. My feelings were hurt. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, did you just say that out loud? Like, are you trying to be offensive or what? I don't even remember what I told him. I think I just gave some generic answer. Safe to say that was our last date. So, but after that, just like, so that was just kind of like the icing on the cake between everything else that I had been dealing with. And then that on top of it, I was just like, you know what? I said enough is enough. I was like, and then, you know, the doctors were telling me like I was unhealthy. My body fat was over 30%. So like all that, like all those things, I was just like, you know what, enough's enough. I was like, it's time to make some changes. Like I need to make some changes. And here we are, the rest is history. So those are all the main questions. If you have more, then you know, don't hesitate to reach out to me either in the comments or via social media, because you all should be following me on social media. It's AyJay1227 on everything, all platforms. So, but yeah, so that's all I got. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And there's just a lot going on in the world right now, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of scariness, just a lot of scary things, a lot of crazy things. So everybody please stay safe and have a good week. Bye.